It's been 20 years since the mass shooting at Columbine High School in Littleton, Colorado. During that time, about 223,000 U.S. students have been exposed to gun violence at 229 schools nationwide. That's according to the Washington Post.
Children are very resilient, and they can come back, and they can deal with problems, and they can cope.
Psychologist Donald Freedheim says people who have suicidal thoughts after a school shooting are sometimes reacting to a previous negative experience. A new trauma, like a school shooting, can stir up all of the feelings, misery, and depression of that earlier trauma. Jeremy Richmond, who lost his first grader at Sandy Hook Elementary in 2012, killed himself this past March, years after his daughter was murdered, and just days after two survivors of the Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School shooting took their own lives.
Time heals everything, but one thing, and that is the loss of a child. Time never heals that. It's contrary to nature's way. It leaves a scar that never completely heals.
More than a quarter of mass shooting survivors develop post-traumatic stress disorder. That's according to the National Center for PTSD. And research has linked PTSD to suicide. Two members of the Columbine community committed suicide after the 1999 mass shooting that left 13 dead. Paula Reed taught at the Denver area school. She says she struggled with PTSD and had suicidal thoughts.
The pain is grinding, and it feels like it's never going to stop.
Samantha Haviland also survived the Columbine massacre. She's now director of counseling for Denver Public Schools.
Shooting events, they rip apart almost every piece of your identity. They aim for that, right? So these parents, their children have been taken away from them in an environment where they were supposed to be. And then you lose your community, and you lose, so much of what we like about our worlds gets lost.
Which underscores the reality that the number of victims connected to a mass shooting goes well beyond the official body count. Dora Mekouar, VOA News, Littleton, Colorado.